Hi everyone, coming up in today's lesson I'm going to talk about how to get into the correct position at the top of the backswing. So what we want to do when we create the backswing is to get into a position where we don't have to correct anything on the way down. So really what we want to do is, one, we want to have our body angles right, so that means we want to maintain our shape to the top of the backswing here. Two, we want to keep the radius the same, so we're not extending or narrowing the radius on the backswing. And three, we want to have the club face square. So basically, if I get my swing started correctly, getting the right shape at the start, letting the club head start the swing this way, it's going to make it a lot easier. So if I can get this sort of body shape right, get the club started right, it's going to give myself the best chance to get into this position at the top. But really what I'm trying to do is get into almost a throwing position. So if I want to throw this ball, I'm going to be in this position here. So my hip's going to be on the wall, my right arm's elbow's going to be point down, I'm going to create a right angle here. And that's really the position I'm going to be in at the top of the swing. So I want to really just keep the radius the same as I go back. I'm going to lift it up, get the right arm into the throwing position, keep the left hip on the wall. So they're really the things I think about when I'm swinging back. If I can keep my left hip on the wall, I keep my body angle. And if I just let the right arm fold into the body and then work a little bit away, I get into the throwing position with the right arm. So the radius is good and the body's good here. And then all we're going to really need, if we get into that position, is to get the club face square to the arc of the swing, or square to the body. So that really comes down to the grip. So if we get a little bit of angle in the left hand when we take the grip, and a bit of angle in the right hand with the right arm bent, then we've got a neutral grip. So really the club is pretty much going to stay square to the body then, okay? So as long as I keep my radius the same, keep my body shape, the club's also going to stay square to my body, because I've got my hands in a neutral position. So that's really what we're trying to do, is to maintain the body shape. We keep the left hip on the wall as we swing back. To get the radius right, we let the right arm fold in, getting the club started first, and then we lift it to the top. The right arm works away a little bit, the elbow points down to the ground. And then to get the right club face, we've got to make sure we have a neutral grip. So we've got a neutral club face, we've got our body shape right, we've got our radius right, and from here I can accelerate the club and be pretty sure I'm going to hit a solid straight shot. So really if I get out of position, so if I get my body shape wrong, if I get my radius too wide, if I have a problem with my grip and the club's not square, now I've got to correct my body. I've got a lot more to do on the way through. I've got to push the hip forward on the wall. I've got to change the club face to get that square again, and I've also got to affect the radius. So it's a lot to do from this position. So a lot of players will move off the ball, make a big turn, sort of get out of position here, so it's not really the throwing position. And it feels powerful, but from here I'm going to have to correct everything. I'm going to have to get my body back on the wall, get the club face square, get the radius right. So by then I'm in this position, and then I'm trying to accelerate the club. But if I can get everything right at the top here, so even though this is just a short position, I've got the hip on the wall, I've got the club face square, radius right, so I can accelerate from here. So it's a smaller swing, might not feel as powerful, but I'm actually able to accelerate earlier, knowing that I'm going to hit a solid shot. So I'll hit one for you now. So all I'm trying to do is get a square club face with my neutral grip, get my body shape right from the start and keep the hip on the wall, and then get my right arm to this throwing position here. So for some people it might just look like a three-quarter swing because the hip's staying on the wall. If I get off the wall it's going to look longer. So I'm just trying to get into a nice short position, throwing position there. And then just let it go. So we're trying to get into position here with the square club face, right arm in the throwing position, left hip on the wall. And then from there we're just going to accelerate the club right through to the finish.